Here's what French women know that we don't, especially after 50. It's not about spending more. It's not about dressing young. It's something else entirely. And once I started doing it, my wardrobe became leaner, cleaner, and so much more stylish. In this video, I'm sharing what I've learned from real Parisian women, what I now buy differently, and how I adapted it for my body and lifestyle in my 50s. Stay with me, because the last tip is something even French magazines rarely talk about, but it changes everything. Let's start with something so simple, and yet so powerful: color. One of the most noticeable things about French style, especially after 50, is the way they use color. Or rather, how they don't overuse it. French women tend to work within a narrow color palette. Think soft ivory, navy, charcoal, camel, and beige. And instead of looking plain, it actually looks incredibly refined. I used to think I needed to add bright pops of color or prints to make an outfit interesting. But when I started wearing these understated tones, I noticed people were actually complimenting me more. The key is that these colors work together. So you end up with a closet full of pieces that can be mixed and matched with almost no effort. That's exactly what makes getting dressed so much easier, and French women know this. If you've ever seen a woman on a Parisian street wearing all beige or all navy and thought, "How does she make that look so chic?" This is why. She's playing with tone and texture, not loud colors. What I love about this approach is that it doesn't mean giving up personality. You can still bring interest with things like texture, cashmere sweater, a navy silk blouse, a pair of ivory jeans with contrast stitching. Or you can play with proportions. Maybe you wear a slouchy knit with a tailored pant. You're still stylish, but in a more quietly elegant way. And honestly, that feels more grown up to me than anything I wore in my 30s. Another thing that helped me embrace neutrals was photographing my outfits. I'd take a quick mirror photo, and suddenly I could see what worked. When I wore, say, an oatmeal blazer with white jeans and tan flats, the whole look came alive in a soft, subtle way. But when I threw in a bold print or a color that didn't belong, like a bright scarf or a patterned top, the look just fell apart. The French way is about harmony, not loudness. Of course, I'm not saying to never wear color again. I still love a burgundy lip or a deep emerald coat when the season calls for it. But I treat those moments like a statement, not the base of my wardrobe. For most days, especially when I want to feel confident and pulled together without trying too hard, I reach for my palette of neutrals. Now that we've talked about simplifying your color palette, let's move into the next cornerstone of French style after 50, jackets. Not just any jacket, though. I'm talking about those perfectly tailored, structured pieces that make even the most basic outfit look chic. French women don't collect jackets by the dozen. They choose a few that are beautiful, functional, and timeless, and then wear them to death. And that's something I started doing too, and it's made a massive difference. I used to have a closet full of coats, different colors, trendy cuts, odd shapes, and still felt like I had nothing to wear. But once I focused on quality over quantity and bought a few core jackets that actually flattered my shape and worked with my wardrobe, everything changed. A navy blazer, a beige trench, a tailored wool coat in winter, those became my staples. French women know the jacket is the outfit. It's the piece that does the talking. What makes a jacket look truly French, especially on women over 50, is the fit. It shouldn't drown you. It should skim your shape, hit at the right spot on the hip, and feel effortless when you move. I had to let go of oversized trends because they just didn't flatter my proportions. Instead, I found joy in a jacket that hugs the shoulders just right and cinches slightly at the waist. Think of that soft structure that still gives you a bit of shape. One of my favorite looks I've copied straight from Paris? A crisp white blouse tucked into jeans, with a tailored navy blazer over the top and a simple pair of flats. It's ageless. It's chic. And it works for lunches, errands, even casual meetings. That one blazer elevates the whole outfit and makes it look like you put in a lot of effort, even if you didn't. And I should also say, don't underestimate how empowering it feels to walk into a room wearing a jacket that fits like it was made for you. French women don't need a lot of accessories or flashy trends. They rely on structure, on tailoring, and on those classic shapes that frame their bodies with intention. That's something we can all learn from, no matter where we live. Some are investment pieces, but I've also found a few gems at really reasonable prices that still give that French feeling. All right, let's talk about jeans. I feel like jeans can be a tricky topic for so many women over 50. Either we're wearing styles that don't flatter us anymore, or we're still chasing trends that never feel quite right. But here's the thing, French women do wear jeans. They just wear them differently. And once I figured that out, it changed how I shopped forever. Forget rips, embellishments, overly bleached washes, or low rise cuts. French women, especially over 50, go for clean, structured denim, usually in a dark rinse, ecru, or even solid black. The cut is key. I'm talking about straight leg, high-rise, ankle-length styles that create a clean line and make everything look more intentional. Nothing overly tight, nothing overly baggy. Just elegant. One of my favorite pairs right now is an ivory straight leg jean I wear with loafers and a tucked-in blouse. It's soft, flattering, and gives me that polished look without sacrificing comfort. That's what I love about this approach. It's doable. You don't need to give up denim entirely. You just need to be more selective about the pair you reach for. I've also noticed that when I wear clean-cut jeans, suddenly my other pieces shine more. My jackets, my shoes, my blouses, they all pop against that minimalist base. And because the jeans aren't competing for attention, the whole look feels balanced. That's the magic of French style. It's not about standing out. It's about looking put together without trying too hard. And the right pair of jeans does exactly that. Now, let's move down to something that makes or breaks an outfit: shoes. And if there's one thing French women absolutely never do, it's settling for shoes that are clunky, over-padded, or overly orthopedic just because they're comfy. Don't get me wrong, comfort matters, especially after 50. But French women have mastered this sweet spot. Shoes that are both wearable and elegant. No big soles, no heavy platform sneakers, and absolutely no squishy ballet flats that look more like slippers than footwear. Here's what I learned from studying French street style. They wear real shoes with structure, leather, and intention. A block heel sandal, a classic loafer, or a sleek ankle boot are the norm. The shoes don't scream for attention, but they look refined. They have shape. They're made of real leather or suede. And most importantly, they complete the outfit instead of bringing it down. I know many of us, especially in the US, are tempted by super padded sneakers or ultra-wide sandals that promise all-day support. But I've found that you can have just as much comfort if you choose well-made shoes with a supportive footbed and real materials. French women rarely wear sneakers unless they're paired with something tailored, like a blazer and trouser look. And even then, they go for a slim, minimal style like Veja or Superga. Nothing bulky, nothing orthopedic looking. In fact, one of the best switches I made in my wardrobe was swapping out my foam heavy slip-ons for a pair of low, structured slingbacks. I get compliments every time I wear them. They look elegant with ankle jeans, midi skirts, even wide leg trousers. They've become my go-to travel shoe because they're supportive and stylish. It's proof you don't have to choose between looking good and feeling good. French women always appear intentional with their footwear. They're not wearing shoes because they're the only ones they can walk in. They're wearing them because they complete the look. I started thinking of my shoes as the period at the end of my fashion sentence. Once I made that mindset shift, everything clicked. So next time you're reaching for your comfy but clunky pair, pause and ask, Is there a real shoe I could wear instead that still feels great, but looks 10 times more stylish? If you're looking for comfortable but chic options, I've linked some in the description box below. These are brands that I actually wear, and trust me, I'm on my feet all day, so I wouldn't recommend anything that didn't feel wearable. Alright, now let's talk about something a little more subtle, but absolutely essential to French style. Imperfection. French women have this uncanny ability to look just right without looking too done. And that's because they embrace what I like to call the off element. There's always something that feels a little undone. A half-tucked shirt, a rolled-up sleeve, slightly messy hair, or no necklace when you expect one. When I first started paying attention to this, I realized how often I was over-styling myself. I'd do the hair, the earrings, the scarf, the lipstick, the belt, and suddenly I looked too polished, like I was trying too hard. But French women, especially those over 50, know when to stop. They understand that effortless style isn't about perfection. It's about knowing how to leave something a little raw, a little spontaneous. One of the easiest ways I started applying this was with accessories. If I'm wearing a bold earring, I'll skip the necklace. If I'm wearing a printed top, I don't add a statement bag. I've learned to let one thing speak and let the rest of the outfit breathe. French women believe that the woman should wear the clothes, not the other way around. And that means allowing space for your personality to shine through the clothes, not be buried under them. Another great example: shoes and hair. Sometimes I'll have my hair in a relaxed low bun and slip on structured loafers. Or I'll wear a crisp button-down shirt, but leave the top few buttons undone and roll up the sleeves. These are little things, but they make all the difference. They make you look like you got dressed for you, not for the camera. That's the kind of beauty that feels really magnetic, especially after 50, when we're not chasing trends anymore. We're chasing authenticity. The best part? This tip actually makes life easier. No need to spend an hour adjusting every detail or stressing if your outfit isn't symmetrical. The off element frees you. It gives you permission to relax into your style and own the way you wear things. And honestly, it's one of the most French ideas I've ever borrowed, and one of the most freeing. So next time you're getting dressed, try this. Choose one thing to leave undone on purpose. A slightly unbuttoned blouse, a shirt not tucked in all the way, or a touch of smudged eyeliner. It keeps the look human, real, and captivating. That's the art of French style in a nutshell. And finally, let's get into one of my favorite French secrets, because it's not about clothes at all. It's about skin. French women are known for wearing minimal makeup, even as they age. But that doesn't mean they're doing nothing. What they actually do is treat their skin like part of their outfit. They don't cover it, they care for it. And this changes the entire look and feel of their style. Instead of layering foundation and concealer, they focus on skincare first: hydration, glow, texture. Think glowing cheeks, soft lips, dewy skin that feels alive. The result is a face that looks fresh, not masked. And especially after 50, this matters more than ever. Our skin changes, yes, but the more we try to cover it up, the more we actually highlight those changes. French women know that. That's why their vanities are full of serums, oils, and moisturizers, not heavy makeup. I've started treating my morning skincare routine like part of my dressing ritual. I use a vitamin C serum, a lightweight moisturizer, a touch of luminizer on my cheekbones, and suddenly, I don't even feel the need for a full face of makeup. Maybe just some brow gel, tinted lip balm, and a dot of concealer. It's freeing. And more importantly, it gives your style room to breathe. When your skin looks alive, everything you wear looks better. One of my favorite French products is actually an old pharmacy favorite, Embryolisse Lait Crème Concentrée. It's been around for ages and gives your skin that soft, plumped-up glow that feels so healthy. When I wear it under my clothes, yes, even under a cotton tee or a crisp white shirt, it changes the way the whole outfit looks. You're not just dressing the body, you're dressing the skin. And that, I think, is the part we often forget. This mindset shift also helped me feel more confident on makeup-free days. Instead of focusing on flaws, I started appreciating the texture and story of my skin. It gave me permission to age naturally, but with style. That's what French beauty is really about. Not covering, but enhancing. Not perfecting, but glowing. Now I want to know, how do you approach skincare and makeup in your daily routine? Do you lean into natural beauty, or do you still love a full face? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop a comment below and let's talk about it. There's no right or wrong, it's all about what makes you feel like your best self. Now let's talk about bags. French women don't rotate through 10 different handbags every season. They usually stick to one go-to bag that does everything, but still looks like nothing else. It's not necessarily the trendiest or most expensive, but it's always unique in some way. A beautiful texture, an interesting shape, a vintage clasp, or just a silhouette that feels personal. And that's exactly the kind of thinking that makes their style feel effortlessly pulled together. In Paris, I saw so many women carrying bags that weren't screaming for attention, but I couldn't stop looking at them. A crossbody with buttery leather and a structured shape. A canvas tote with bold leather straps and a single monogram. A small bucket bag with subtle gold detailing that looked like it had a story. These weren't the oversized designer logos or heavy utility bags we often see in the US. These were functional, but they were also distinctive. And that's what made them stylish. What French women do brilliantly is find that one bag that's just big enough to hold their day-to-day life. Keys, wallet, phone, sunglasses, maybe a book, and they commit to it. It becomes part of their visual identity. Instead of switching bags with every outfit, they choose one that complements everything they wear. And honestly, that's smart. It saves time, reduces clutter, and gives your look a consistent visual thread. I started doing this myself with a mid-sized tan leather shoulder bag from a small Italian brand. It has a simple silhouette, but really special hardware, and it works with denim, blazers, linen dresses, even gym outfits. And every time I carry it, someone asks me where it's from. That's when I realized this bag has become a style signature for me. It's doing a lot of heavy lifting, and I'm not overthinking it. So if you're constantly changing bags, or if your current go-to feels bulky, tired, or uninspired, maybe it's time to invest in one that really expresses your style. Look for clean lines, quality materials, and one unexpected detail. A pop color lining, an oversized zipper pull, or a minimal but artistic shape. The key is to make sure it looks like you, not just something everyone else is carrying. And if you want some inspiration, I've added a few links in the description box below. These are bags I've handpicked that strike the perfect balance of practicality and visual uniqueness. Now, if you've ever wondered how French women always seem to look stylish without buying a ton of stuff, the next tip is going to completely change how you shop. It's not about what they buy, it's about what they don't buy. In fact, it's a mindset shift that most people overlook. And it might just be the rarest and smartest French-style secret I've come across. Here it is. The one thing almost no magazine talks about, but every stylish French woman practices. They edit their wardrobe like an artist, not a shopper. What does that mean? It means they don't accumulate things for the sake of variety or because something's on sale. They build their wardrobes like a painter builds a canvas, with vision, restraint, and an eye for balance. Every piece has to earn its place. French women aren't shopping constantly. In fact, many of the most stylish women I met over 50 told me they shop less now than ever before. Instead of impulse buys, they focus on whether a new item will harmonize with what they already own. Does it add something essential? Does it elevate the whole? If not, it stays on the rack. This idea of curating over collecting is so powerful, especially in a culture where we're always being told to buy more. I started applying this by literally standing in front of my closet and asking, does this item belong in my story? If it clashed, duplicated something I already had, or just didn't feel exciting, it had to go. And guess what? I stopped feeling like I had nothing to wear. Suddenly, everything made sense. Outfits came together faster, and shopping became easier too, because I knew exactly what would or wouldn't work before I even tried it on. This kind of editing takes time, but the results are incredible. Your wardrobe becomes more streamlined, more personal, and honestly, more powerful. Because now, you're not dressing from a pile of random options. You're dressing from a focused, thoughtful collection. It's not just minimalist thinking. It's intentional dressing. And it's a habit that makes you look effortlessly elegant without spending more. And here's the kicker. French women don't need 12 versions of the same item in different colors. If they find the perfect navy blazer, they stick to it. If they have the ideal trouser, they re-wear it 100 ways. It's not about being boring. It's about editing with confidence and trust in your own eyes. Once I embraced this idea, I stopped shopping out of boredom or panic and started building a wardrobe that felt deeply aligned with my personal style. So next time you feel the urge to freshen up your closet, try editing instead. Remove 3 things that don't feel right before you even consider adding 1 new piece. It'll transform how you see your wardrobe and yourself. If you found this guide helpful, you're going to love my next video. Secrets to how French women 50+ look so elegant. I go even deeper into the styling choices, beauty rituals, and subtle habits that make their elegance so unforgettable. It's the perfect follow-up to everything we've just talked about, and I have a feeling it'll completely shift the way you think about style after 50.